I'm going to explain and illustrate this new feature on the Deus 2 version 1. It is the volume notching in full tones. This full tones menu looks like a 5-tone notch. That's what it is. It is a volume notch, but it is not a tonal notch. With the full tones, it's a sliding scale still of tones, and you cannot disrupt, you cannot notch tones out and assign certain tones to those notches. It's still a sliding scale. You cannot interrupt the tone pitch of the frequency of those notches. You can only adjust the volume, and I'll show you that here. I'll just illustrate here. And then I'm going to demonstrate on some gold rings, the nickel, and some foil, and a zinc penny. So I've seen, or some people may misunderstand how this works. We got a zinc penny and a pull tab, or the two most common junk targets that I dig out, and they're just everywhere in the United States, in parks. And pull tabs have a very wide range of numbers. You got square ones, you got round ones, you got big ones, little ones, ones with 2 holes, 3 holes, 1 hole. Just the pull tabs can read a wide window range of numbers. So can the zinc pennies. And the zinc pennies deteriorate when they're in the ground. And so you're going to get a wide range of numbers on those crusty zinc pennies. But there's a common theme here. These zinc pennies and all the zinc pennies and all the pull tabs, gold rings. Gold rings, I'll show you here. And even the nickels, right? I see a lot of people notching out nickels. Nickels are probably within that range of 5 or 6 numbers. That's the common size of gold ring, the most common size of gold ring that I find out there. Nickels. And the pull tab range. A zinc penny is going to be a honking ring, right? And I'll show you that here in a minute. So we have this scale of IDs here, sliding scale. And now we have blocks in here, these windows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's a tone break. They're windows that you can adjust. You can move around, you can widen, you can narrow those ranges to select, like pull tabs. You know, it's a wide range. I mean, like I said, pull tabs have a wide range. But if you don't want to dig out the new zinc pennies, you can just select a narrow range. This penny will pretty much read the same. A newer zinc penny will read right around 85 or so, something like that. But you just never know. I mean, there's so many zinc pennies that just fall on the ground 2 inches deep, and you'll just find them all just crusty and corroded, and they'll read 5 or 6, 8 numbers lower than a zinc penny, and that's in the gold range too. So, you know, I do not notch on any of my detectors, a silent notch discrimination on any of my detectors, because it disrupts those tones. And that's why I really don't like 5-tone either, or 4-tone. It's the transition of the tones. It's just not very smooth. I like full tones because it's a smooth transition. You can adjust the tones now. You can adjust the offset of tones, but that's a whole different video. You can adjust the range of those tones. You cannot disrupt that sliding scale though. So I'll just turn the Deus 2 on here. And I'll just sweep a few gold rings. I'll sweep the nickel, the penny, and a couple pull tabs here, just over the coil, or I'll sweep the coil over these targets here, and then I'll sweep some gold rings over there, and you'll see. And then I will adjust this tone window, this tone notching, and I'll drop the volume down on like the pull tabs. I'll just drop the volume level on the pull tabs and see what everything else sounds like. So that's just like notching. That's almost like silent, silent notching. A lot of detectors have that. You can assign windows, you can notch out like certain junk targets, but then it just makes your detector run all just jumps around. You're getting clipping tones. It's hard to know if it's a masked target or it's a target that's being partially notched out. That's accepted. You know, you want to accept a lot of targets. I accept everything. I want to dig out the pull tabs. I want to dig out the zinc pennies, because this right here, I can show you dozens, hundreds of rings that sound just like pull tabs, right? I don't have long enough video to do that though, but I'll just show you. right? The nickel here, right? Just do the nickel first. First, I'll do the pull tabs, right? And I'll put it in big numbers here so you can see the numbers. I don't really do numbers, but I'll just show you. So 63, 62. Now watch this different pull tab. Oh, pull tabs are different. There's thousands of different types of pull tabs. 69. I have some that read 75, some that read 58. You just never know. Here's a nickel right here. We all know nickels. 61, because nickels do not deteriorate in the ground. They're pretty much going to be in this 58 to 64, 65, 66. I've had them read up different numbers. And so we got the gold rings right here. 71, 65, honking gold rings. Right? Big old rings here. Right there. 61, just the same as a nickel. Just the same as a nickel. Gold ring. 59. There's the gold ring that I just found with the Deus 2, a deep one. 68. I stabbed it with my shovel. Beautiful. 59. This is the gold ring that I found with the Xterra Pro my first day out with that detector. 64. Another gold ring. Another gold ring right here. 62. I just grabbed a handful of medium-sized gold rings out of my bin, right? 66 here. Get the nickel here. 62, 61, 62. Here's another gold ring right here. 63, 63. Here's the zinc penny here. 85, 84, 86. A honking gold ring. 87. All right. So I'll just throw all these gold rings over here on the ground here. So I'll notch out. I will volume notch, and I'll show you. I do, if you, so here's a good tip here. If you want to dig out gold rings, you're gonna have to dig pull tabs. And I suggest not lowering your volume or notching out or discriminating up high if you want to dig out gold. Notching has a lot of disadvantages. Silent notching, like I said before, and so does this volume notching. So I want the volume on all of my accepted targets that I want to be digging out of the ground. I want to be digging out the gold. I want to be digging out the coins. I want all that volume to be the same so I can accurately decipher the depth. You know, I want a good perception of depth. And when I have that volume level down low on targets, I wouldn't say it a rejected target. I would say selected targets, like the pull tabs. I don't want pull tabs to sound low, have a low volume because the gold rings, and it's really hard to. The perception of depth is very much interrupted when you have your volume level lower on this target compared to your coins and whatnot. This will sound very deep, and I'll dig a big hole and it's right on the surface if I have my volume level down low. And if this target or if this ring is partially notched out with the volume level, it's going to give me really broken tones. It's going to give me a loud tone, but a soft tone, a loud tone, or a deep, and it's going to be really erratic on a lot of my selected targets that I want to get out of the ground. So I want to have that open. So what I will do is, so we have a sliding scale here, with my iron volume is basically the reject volume for the minerals in my ground, and I want to hear those minerals, but I don't want to hear them really super loud, especially when it's hot and wet. The ground is wet out, so I'll have that volume at 9. And that's my discrimination. My discrimination is -6.4 to 0. That's my minerals, and I'll have that volume at 9. right? That's just my iron volume on the main menu, 9 iron volume. And on my iron, I want to have that at 10, right? I want to have that at 10 because I want to separate out, I want to have different tones. I want to have different volumes from my minerals and my iron, because deep targets, deep coins will give me an iron tone, a really deep iron, coins will give me iron tones. And the foil here, so this is my third tone here, my third tone bend. I will have a narrow window there from about 10 to about 30. I've tested all my gold, and the lowest TID that I have is about 30. And foil, those little bits of foil, I have a little piece of foil in here. There's so much foil, and I don't want that blasting in my ear. When I sweep over a bunch of trash, I do not want that loud like my other accepted tones. So all my mid-range and my high range is all at 10, and that's the only volume that I have at 8 or 7. 8 right here. The foil, the small little bits of foil. I'm not talking about the foil that's wadded up. I'm talking about this, the foil, right? Just the little bits of foil that are very irritating. Before, in the older versions, you know, that foil was really loud. In the previous versions, it was just really loud. You weren't able to adjust the tone volumes. So what I'll do is I'll just... So if you want to still dig out those undesirable targets, keep those at the same volume. Maybe if you're an iron, you can do some funky stuff with these, but I haven't really hunted in a lot with iron with this here. But in trash, you need to dig out the junk targets, because that pile of gold rings sounds just like the pull tabs, man. Pull tabs are gold rings. When I hear a mid-tone, in my mind, it's a gold ring, right? Every time I dig up, right before I see that pull tab, I'm hoping gold ring, gold ring, gold ring, right? It's how it is, man. When you dig in the trash, those rings just pop out unexpected. They just pop out when they pop out. And when you dig in pull tab after pull tab after pull tab, then bing, 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 the gold rings start popping out when you start pulling pull tabs out. So I'll turn the volume back up here. And I'll just, I can't have it too loud because it's still early in the morning here. So what I'll do is, I'm in fast program here. I don't want to be in fast. I'll just go to sensitive full tones program. And I'll show you what's going to happen here. Full tones. So there's this notch window here. I cannot adjust the pitch of it. I can only adjust the volume of it. So I'll just go up to the tone break here. I'll just notch out. I'll notch. I'll select a window for this pull tab right here. It's reading at 65, about 65 or so. So I'll just select a window. 69, 60. 56 to 68, and then I'll drop the volume level down on that, right? 7. It's almost nothing now. And all my other volumes are at 10 here, right? Or my iron volume's at 7 here, but that's a whole different story there. So I'll put a zinc penny in here. Listen to how loud it is compared to this pull tab. Very loud. Remember, my volume for this is at 7. Right? It's being partially discriminated. Listen to it. Now I'll raise this volume back up. It has a huge impact on your perception of depth. So I'll be digging deep holes for that target because it sounds deep if it's at a lower volume. And I still want to dig these out because these pull tabs are gold rings, man. I'm telling you. But I don't want to drop my volume level in my foil window too low because, you know, 30s, it's a broken tone here. 30s, 50s, right? It really matters what frequency you're in, but this is a higher frequency anyway. So, big honking gold ring. The nickel. I'll do the nickel here. Sounds deep, right? Now I'll adjust that volume down to 5. That one's accepted, actually. I'll do the pull tab again. Super quiet. That one's not rejected here. I have a small window for it, so this is the one that I was using to test with. This is the one that I was testing with. So you have to do a lot of manipulation with all your brakes and stuff. Full tones should be really easy to use, man. It should not be that difficult to use. These tone breaks here can really, you can really get your detector out of shape once you start notching the tone volume and just start notching. That's why I never notch on any of my detectors. It just gives you a disrupted tone and it's hard to pinpoint. And those, if you have a partially notched target, like let's say a zinc penny or a pull tab, and it's only partially notched out, you're still going to get a target tone out. You're going to get an accepted tone, but it's not going to be a round tone. It's going to be a clipped audio, and that is what masked targets sound like. They sound like a clipped audio. And if you have your iron volume off along with a notch that you have, you're going to be digging up. It's going to be really hard to pinpoint targets. Sure, you might get all your pennies that are laying flat, but you're not going to get very many partially masked targets or targets on their edge. It's just a fact about it, right? Once you start notching, your detector's going to start running unstable. It's going to be hard to pinpoint. It's going to be hard to know the depth of the targets. It just messes it all up. Full tones, the beauty of full tones is that sliding scale of smooth transition tones. And I want to keep it like that. Really, I want to keep it like that. I can raise my my offset up a little bit to get this smaller gold, and that really helps out a lot. Thank you for watching.